Okay, so we're done with this side. Just of the overview, I want to go back over this side, and we did touch on these. Here you're going to have your characters, your paragraph, color, swatches, library, styles. So character is your font, and I would have this character open a lot. You know, here's your font. Well, if I click that and highlight it blue and just move my down arrow, I can scroll through if I have it selected. So I'll hit this, and that's got the bounding box around it. I'll go up here and click inside that, and I can move down, and you can see that my fonts are changing. So this is what I'll do when I want to preview a bunch of fonts. Or I can drop down and just see whatever font it is. This right here is the size of the actual font. This is the size of the gutter, the line height in between the fonts. So if I have a stack of two fonts, a line break, it means that there's going to be 30 points in between the two words if they're stacked on top of each other. I never fool with this metrics. This right here just stretches out the space in between letters. So if I click this and then you have to have that text selected. So if you're doing stuff, you're not seeing results, it's because you don't have that actual layer selected. And you'll know it's selected by seeing the light gray over top of that section. So let's open this up. And here we've got, and you can select these layers by just clicking on these too. So there's my high again. I want 200 in between, so you can see it just stretched out that. Or I can put it -100 and it scoots it all in together. So keep it at 0. And you can do stretches, which just stretches the text. I never really used that. This is the color, so I can actually change the color from there regardless of what's over here. So if I want this orange, I hit OK, and it changed the text color to that color. This makes everything all caps, and you can read through them. I only use sometimes all caps. Don't worry about none of these. And don't worry about any of this. These usually should just stay the same unless you're doing something advanced. So again, all you have to worry with the color, the line height, the size, and right here is if you want regular italic. So it'll have that font and then whatever options they give you for that font. So that's the character palette. Paragraph palette is justification of words and things like that. Color palette is if you want to choose a color, and you can click in there. And another thing is, if you go to the eyedropper tool, which is over here, you can actually pick the color that is in this. So if I'm like wanting this color, like this orange, I can click that and it tells me what color right there. So I'll see this big thing coming around it, and everywhere where I go, it picks that color. So you can see that color is there with the eyedropper tool. That's the eyedropper tool over here. So I can either do that or I can move it around and choose my colors that I want to use for brushes and things like that. So swatches lets me choose a direct color. And there could be libraries of swatches, there could be styles, and or swatches, sorry. I'm in that. So swatches just gives me a predefined set of colors. And I can have different swatches up if I want. Libraries, that goes into advanced. That's just saving different things. You can see in Transputer I have the logos saved that I can always drag and drop. They're in a library. So that's new to CC. It's something that was just put on. It's really cool. And then styles. These are styles that I have. Like if I want to put a metal style to my words and text. So I could have place. I could have this and then choose gold. And that'll put a gold style or a silver style, and I can alter that right here on the bottom with a lot of different things. You'll get all those styles that I have. They're purchased and bought. I have a lot of those. So that's that. Now, these things right here are add-ons. This is subtle patterns that I've bought and added on. This is extensive, so I don't want to open that. It's going to crash it. Here's actions. So this is my actions palette. This is more advanced. This runs actions that I record. You can record actions, which means if I was wanting to make something black and white, I could record that action and apply it to any photo that I open up if I run the action. It's basically like recording a sequence of events that you're going to do to all, like watermarking or something like that. And then history. You can see the history. So I can actually go through here and see the history of everything I've done. Go to a certain remembering point of that history and go back to that point, you know, to what I did. So if I'm like, oh, I need to go back to where I was at, and you can see all your history stuff. Actions, here those are. So that's those brushed, that's that section. And if you open them up, you know, you just arrange them in these palettes. That's what all that is. So that's the right side of the Photoshop, which a lot of people, this is the part that a lot of people have their preference on, how they have these windows open and not. So if we go window, workspace, and get back to, like here's Josh 2015, this is how I like it. So I have my character, my palette, and here's, let me close that timeline. I think it remembered that from when I was working with their 3D, but so not timeline. So anyway, this is how I would have it. Okay, so I want you though to get used to the default, which is this, and set it up however you want.